Tropical storm Imelda passing safely off our coast, but the dangerous beach conditions continue. We're tracking that latest for you in a few minutes.
A tropical storm creating dangerous conditions at the beach. So what do cruise passengers think about getting on a sailing towards a storm? My report from Port Canaveral is coming up.
We're experiencing very hazardous water conditions right now all along our coastline.
Along the beaches, a warning to stay out of the water. One man drowning in the dangerous rip currents over the weekend.
Streaming on clickorlando.com and broadcasting live, you're watching News 6 at 4 p.m.
Dangerous conditions along the coast right now as we take a live look at our camera in Daytona Beach. You can see Tropical Storm Imelda moving north on the radar. Meteorologist Jonathan Kegas joins us now with what's going on. Jonathan?
Yeah, we're going to watch these continue to lift to the north and then back to the northeast. I want to show you this. We talked about this on Friday. We would see a very unique satellite image come Monday, and here we go. This is Hurricane Umberto off to the east, just south of Bermuda. There is Imelda, again, passing safely to the north, and eventually a nice tug to the east. The center of these two storms less than 600 miles apart. So certainly a satellite image you don't see every day. Again, because of Umberto's influence, it is going to help to yank Imelda back out to sea. But with the two storms in proximity, churning up all the water basically between Florida, the Bahamas, and into Bermuda. You see there again pushing towards Bermuda as a tropical storm. We are going to keep those dangerous beach conditions in play for the next several days and likely for the week ahead. Again, the core of the system is way out to the east. This is where we start to see some of the outer bands. What we have going on now, because of the stiff breeze off of the Atlantic, we have these tropical downpours being generated and pushing inland. This is going to be the weather pattern over the next couple of days. We're going to talk much more about where these little downpours are going. They're certainly on the heavy side at times. And when we get back to our more routine pattern coming up at about 4:17.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. Taking a live look at our Launch Credit Union port cam at Port Canaveral right now. Imelda has caused several cruise ships to come back hours early. Many travelers seeing changes to their vacation plans. Your Cape Canaveral community correspondent James Barbero is speaking with cruise passengers.
I'm here at Port Canaveral, where passengers like Lacey are about to get on the Utopia of the Seas. That's just on the other side of the Grills Tiki Bar here. Lacey, the weather, though, this probably isn't the kind of vacation you were hoping for when you made your plans weeks or months back.
Of course not. The sun was shining, and we thought we were going to have the same kind of weather for today, but not so much.
Any concerns about going out on a cruise in a storm?
Just really the waves and maybe seasick, motion sickness, that kind of thing. We're prepared, though. We have our Dramamine, and we have our little wristbands, and I think we're going to be okay.
You still have fun no matter what the weather's like when you go on a cruise?
We have the drink package, so I think we're going to be okay.
Utopia's cruise over the weekend ended a few hours early because of Imelda. Same for the Disney Wish and the Carnival Glory. Now in a new safety alert, Brevard County is warning people at the beach about dangerous rip currents. The county says always swim near lifeguards and don't swim near piers or jetties. Like Jetty Park, where no surprise, I found a lot of surfers. How rough are the waves?
It's not that bad here. The rest of the coastline looks pretty rough.
On clickorlando.com, we have an entire story about how to spot a rip current and how to escape one. I'll attach that story to this new one. In Brevard County, I'm your Cape Canaveral community correspondent, James Sparvero, News 6.
Rough surf is also battering Volusia County beaches, creating strong rip currents and high surf there. Leaders are urging swimmers to stay out of the water after a 51-year-old man got caught in a rip current over the weekend and died. News 6's Angie Casada shows us the conditions along Daytona Beach.
A lot of people see these conditions and want to go out there and try to, have fun. Now's not the time to do that.
From the red flags to the pounding surf, Volusia County beaches are making their message clear. Conditions are dangerous.
No matter what, the stormy, still beautiful. I mean, it's awesome. The ocean's a little angry this morning, but it's still beautiful.
Well, all I can tell you is it's just a part of nature, and it's nature at its best, or it can be nature maybe at its worst. It sort of depends.
Although some came to admire the intensity, beach safety officials say this weekend's tragedy is a reminder of that danger. A 51-year-old man visiting from out of state drowned after being caught in a rip current.
We're experiencing very hazardous water conditions right now all along our coastline. We are flying that red flag. We're urging people just to stay out of the water at this time. It's not the time to go swimming. Unfortunately, we did have a drowning on Saturday. And also, since last weekend up to this past weekend, we've rescued just under 300 people out of the water.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Yeah, I don't hear it very often, but it does happen. Undertows are rough. And so I try to usually not go more than like waist deep, maybe stomach deep, just to be safe, you know.
The National Weather Service has a high rip current risk through Wednesday night and a high surf advisory until Thursday morning. Waves could build to 9 feet with gusty winds making conditions even worse. Now, these red flags are up currently, and they'll remain up until midweek as a warning from Beach Patrol that the current conditions of the ocean are dangerous, and they suggest that you might just want to stay out of the water. Reporting in Daytona Beach, I'm your Volusia County community correspondent, Angie Casada, News 6.
Angie, thank you. Now is a great time to make sure to download our free News 6 weather app. Our hurricane app is built right into that. It will send personalized weather alerts right to your phone. Just search WKMG in your app store. Breaking news now on the investigation into that Amber Alert out of Marion County last week. The sheriff's office says the 17-year-old at the center of the investigation shot himself in the leg after he disappeared. News 6's Jana Manahalal is live in the newsroom with the breaking details. And Jana, a lot of twists and turns in this investigation, and now it looks like this whole thing may have been staged.
Yes, Lisa, we should point out that missing teen, Caden Spate, is now safe and recovering from that gunshot wound to the leg. Now, the Amber Alert was issued on Wednesday when investigators say Spate told his mother he was kidnapped by 4 Hispanic men in Dunellen during a shooting. And that's where deputies found his truck. Investigators now say the next day, Spate shot himself in the leg in Williston and then walked out into a roadway where citizens would be able to locate him. In a video statement posted on Facebook, the Marion County Sheriff said his team is continuing the investigation and said charges against the teen are still on the table. Lisa?
All right, Jana, thank you. Law enforcement officials investigating the deadly attack at a Mormon church in Michigan say all victims have now been accounted for and the death toll has not gone up. The mass shooting happened on Sunday morning in Grand Blanc, Michigan, where 4 victims were killed and 8 others were injured. The gunman was killed by officers responding to the scene. Police identified the deceased suspect as 40-year-old Marine veteran Thomas Jacob Sanford.
The FBI is investigating this as an act of targeted violence, and we are continuing to work to determine a motive.
Police say Sanford rammed a vehicle into the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, then opened fire on hundreds of worshipers before setting the building on fire. Another mass shooting happened Saturday night in Southport, North Carolina, where at least 3 people were killed and 5 were injured. Police say 40-year-old Nigel Edge, a combat veteran with PTSD, pulled up by boat to a dock, then opened fire at a popular pub called the American Fish Company. Edge fled by boat toward Oak Island, where he lives, but was later arrested by the Coast Guard at a public ramp. Investigators call this a targeted, highly premeditated attack. Edge faces numerous charges, including first-degree murder and assault with a deadly weapon. Attorneys for the man accused of killing conservative activist Charlie Kirk went to court today. Tyler Robinson has been charged with 7 counts, including murder. The 22-year-old was not in the courtroom but made an appearance virtually. Robinson's defense lawyers asked the judge to schedule another hearing in 30 to 60 days. They say they need time to review what prosecutors called a substantial amount of discovery in the case. If convicted, he faces the death penalty. Leaders in Congress are set to meet with President Trump at the White House. We are about 30 hours away from a fast-approaching government funding deadline. Democrats have repeatedly asked Republicans to come to the negotiating table. They are pressing for an extension of expiring health insurance subsidies. CBS News correspondent Erica Brown has the details.
President Trump is meeting with Republican and Democratic congressional leaders at the White House Monday in a last-ditch effort to avert a looming government shutdown. Democrats are pushing to extend Affordable Care Act subsidies set to expire at the end of this year and roll back cuts to Medicaid.
We'll find a bipartisan path forward to meet the needs of the American people, starting with health care. and lowering the high cost of living, because we're in a healthcare crisis right now.
Republicans want to pass a short-term spending bill that would fund the government until mid-November, negotiating demands from Democrats at a later time.
Hopefully there'll be some steps taken that can address the concerns that Democrats have, but you can't do this by Tuesday.
If Congress doesn't get something to President Trump to sign by Tuesday night, the government faces a temporary shutdown. Thousands of federal workers could be furloughed and non-essential services would be disrupted.
The president wants to keep the government open. He wants to keep the government funded. The president is giving Democrats one last chance to be reasonable today.
President Trump has repeatedly blamed Democrats for the stalemate, warning a shutdown is likely.
Well, we're going to see, but the radical left Democrats want to shut it down. I mean, it's up to them.
The White House has also raised the stakes, threatening mass firings at federal agencies if no deal is reached to keep the government open. Erica Brown, CBS News, the White House.
Our traffic safety expert, Trooper Steve, not only knows how to stay safe on the roads, but he can also conquer an obstacle course on a tandem bike. How he was able to make it to the very end of the Red Bull Tandem Roller Coaster Challenge, that's coming up. Plus,
people across Florida tell News 6 they are getting priced out of their mobile homes. I'm investigator Louis Bolden. A class action lawsuit claims a group of corporations conspired to raise prices at mobile home parks.
That's like a monopoly. You control everything and the consumer gets nothing.
The data the lawsuit claims was used illegally and how this impacts mobile home parks in Central Florida. Coming up.
News 6 Insider is sponsored by Orange County Library System.
Accused of conspiring to raise prices at mobile home parks, nearly a dozen corporations named in a class action lawsuit obtained by News 6. I'm News 6 investigator Louis Bolden, and a lot of these mobile home parks, you own the home but lease the land. And neighbors say corporations are buying the parks, then raising the lot rent.
If you can no longer afford to live here, where would you go?
Probably under a bridge, I don't know.
A pension and Social Security payments may soon not be enough for 77-year-old Ruth Koretsky. She's paying almost double what she did 6 years ago when she moved to the Shangri-La Mobile Village in Ormond Beach.
I only lived here a year when a corporation bought this place and started raising the rent. All the things that they used to pay for, they added it onto our bill.
The community is operated by Lakeshore Communities Incorporated, one of 10 defendants named in this class action lawsuit. The lawsuit alleges the corporations that own manufactured home parks coordinated with each other to increase lot rents by illegally purchasing and using market reports published by Datacomp Appraisal Systems Incorporated. Datacomp calls itself the largest provider of manufactured home valuations, inspections, and market data.
Do you think it should be legal that all of these companies that own mobile home parks know what each other is charging?
No, that's like a monopoly. You control everything and the consumer gets nothing.
The lawsuit claims having this non-public, competitively sensitive information eliminates competition amongst park owners on price, services, and quality for manufactured home lots. It's something Koretsky says she's seen firsthand.
They do nothing for us. We have no amenities, and they do less and less for us.
Manufactured homes were known to be an affordable place to live. According to the lawsuit, lot rental prices ran up 2.3% between 2010 and 2018, which is close to the average inflation rate of 1.8% during that time. But the lawsuit says things changed between 2019 and 2021, with lot rental prices jumping around 9.1% each year, even though inflation was only 3%.
News 6 has been inundated with messages from people across the state of Florida who say they are being priced out of their mobile homes. We asked Lakeshore Communities why it's raising the lot rent as well as its response to the lawsuit. The company did not respond to our calls and emails. News 6 also reached out to Datacomp. We spoke with someone on the phone and was told to send an email. We have not yet heard back. Louis Bolden, News 6.
All right, we want to check in now with meteorologist Jonathan Kagas, who, of course, is keeping a very close eye on what's happening off of our coast right now. And we are seeing some showers and certainly that rough surf because of this.
Yeah, that's the main deal here. Passing safely the center of the storm. The center is way, way out here. The even western extent of the heaviest rain and the steady rain of the tropical storm, this Imelda, still way off our coast even. What we are dealing with here is just the northeast wind generated by the storm itself, helping to generate these tropical downpours. And we are going to be in and out of these for the next couple of days as Imelda again passes safely off our coast with, again, the dangerous rip currents and the dangerous beach conditions. That, of course, is going to be the dangerous side of this storm. But everywhere else, again, just these quick-hitting tropical downpours. They are certainly heavy and certainly look pretty gnarly out there when they are coming down. But nonetheless, no lightning associated with these. One of those heavy tropical downpours right now moving through Windermere. This just coming out of Gotha and from the Ocoee area. Winter Park, we just had one of those as well. And again, you'll notice the motion pretty much out of the northeast back to the south and west. And we're going to continue this trend over the next couple of days. Skycam in downtown Orlando. It's a live look with our Light Orlando Delivering Hope Skycam tonight. It's picking up on some of those downpours. You see right there, the few downpours on the lens, certainly the heavier one there just in the background of the city. Beautiful tonight. Temperatures right now into the mid-80s. The breeze also a little stiff as a result of the storm being in the vicinity out of the north-northeast at about 15 miles an hour, a little stronger along the coast. That's really, again, what we're dealing with here as both of these systems, again, in tandem. But you can thank Umberto, again, for no other impacts here to the United States as it's going to yank it further back to the north and east. Again, there is the center of the storm leaving now the Bahamas, drifting to the north, and then over the next 12 to 24 hours, it is going to feel Umberto's tug, and it is going to get itself out of here and back towards Bermuda, of course, watching it for Bermuda, but even then should still remain past and leave the land alone. There's 7 to 8 o'clock tonight. This is the theme of the next couple of days. These quick-hitting tropical downpours pushing in from the Atlantic. That's 4 to 5 o'clock on your Tuesday morning. So again, don't be surprised on your morning commute tomorrow, getting ready for school, that there are these quick hitting tropical downpours out there. Once we get towards 11 o'clock on your Tuesday, same kind of deal as these pinwheel around the system that is at this point working its way further out into the Atlantic Ocean, leaving us alone. The one thing that will remain, though, is going to be the dangerous beach conditions. This really for the end of the work weekend, likely even into the upcoming weekend, that the rip current risk is going to stay very, very high. The wave heights increasing big time tomorrow. I think the highest day or the worst day for those wave heights going to be tomorrow. It's a live look. Port Canaveral, Brevard County. People on the Disney Wish, you're going to be in for a little bumpy ride as they work their way back out to sea. That's a live look with our Launch Credit Union camera tonight as the skies remain dark. Temperatures back into the middle 80s. They are certainly going to have some rock and roll, and hopefully they pack the Dramamine on that one. 82 on Mount Dora. In Mount Dora, we're at 76 degrees in the Villages. Now here's a look at your forecast.
Your forecast is sponsored by Renewal by Andersen.
Temperatures back to the mid-80s again tomorrow. Rain chances at 40% with those quick-hitting downpours. And we'll be in this pattern under the influence of the tropical air mass brought to us by Imelda over the next couple of days. 30% shot for downpours on Wednesday. And then we kind of break free from that pattern and get back to our more afternoon thunderstorm feel as we get into Thursday, Friday, and into the upcoming weekend, Lisa.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. With thousands of people watching, Trooper Steve successfully finished the Red Bull Tandem Roller Coaster Challenge. See how he was able to avoid falling into the water. That's next. As we take a live look over downtown Orlando from our Light Orlando Delivering Hope cam, you're watching News 6. We'll be right back.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Light Orlando, delivering hope together.
Well, did you catch all of the action in Altamont Springs over the weekend? On Saturday, thousands of people attended the Red Bull Tandem Roller Coaster Challenge. 30 teams competed on tandem bikes, including our very own Trooper Steve and XL 106.7 Sandra Ray, and they made it to the very end, surprisingly. While several teams ended up in the water, these two maintained their balance throughout the entire course. They completed the challenge in 43 seconds. Of the 30 overall entries, 11 teams were able to complete the course. Now, this was Red Bull's first time bringing the competition to the U.S., and News 6 was the only local TV news station actually participating in the event. Well, the speed limit could soon change on a busy road where this is happening, and why leaders want to drop the speed limit down to 35 miles per hour. That's coming up.
A beloved business owner in the hospital after a tragic accident. What we're learning as the community rallies around Skip, the man behind Skip's Western Outfitters.
Welcome back. We are following several top stories right now. Imelda is causing concern for coastal vacation plans. Early this morning, several cruise ships came back hours early and rerouted today when they left again. Brevard County is also warning people about dangerous rip currents, saying always swim near lifeguards and do not swim near piers or jetties. Staying along the coast, rough surf is battering Volusia County beaches as well. A 51-year-old man got caught in a rip current over the weekend and died. There is a high rip current risk through Wednesday night and a high surf advisory until Thursday morning. Orlando International Airport is preparing for a potential government shutdown if Congress does not pass a spending bill within the next 48 hours. The CEO of Greater Orlando Aviation Authority sent an email to board members saying air travel will continue. He says previous shutdowns did not have a significant impact on operations. We do want to take another look at Tropical Storm Imelda. Thankfully, it is staying out to sea. Meteorologist Jonathan Kagas joins us now with what is still happening along our coast, even though it's hundreds of miles out in the ocean.
Yeah, and it's going to be the rip current risk, as you mentioned, for sure. Some minor beach erosion going to be possible as well, and certainly the beach conditions going to be dangerous. The surf is going to be super rough, as you might imagine, with the tropical storm a couple hundred miles away and then the bigger hurricane a little further away than that. What it also is doing is bringing these tropical downpours because it's inducing that northeasterly stiff breeze off of the Atlantic. So that's something that we're going to run the risk of over the next couple of days. We are getting one of those, and again, they look pretty intense whenever they're over you for a very short time. So Zellwood into McDonald, good evening. We're watching that pretty much over us right now, coming at us from Seminole Springs and out of Lake County tonight. So just keep that in mind. There's no lightning with these. These are quick hitting, but certainly the rain is very heavy, especially when you're right under them tonight. Edgewater, we're getting in on one of those coming through New Smyrna Beach as well. These are all pushing from the Atlantic inland tonight and then pretty much taking a trip down I-4, a bigger dose of it, working through Lake Helen into Casadega tonight. Not as heavy, but certainly, again, packing a punch. You saw the satellite image right off the top there, and again, this is pretty wild to have a major hurricane and then a tropical storm close by with each other. The centers of both of these storms less than 600 miles apart, and it's the combination of Humberto, which is the hurricane, and Imelda, the tropical storm, that's going to keep beach conditions very dangerous through the weekend, maybe even through the weekend ahead. We'll talk much more about that coming up at about 4:47. Lisa.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. We are following breaking news. Right now, we are seeing all eastbound lanes are blocked on I-4. This is happening near the Dr. Phillips exit. We're told a box truck rolled over there and traffic is being diverted right now. Again, these are the eastbound lanes of I-4. As soon as we get any updated information, we'll let you know. Well, maybe you know the name Skip's Western Outfitters, or you have seen it driving by the stores in Daytona or Osteen. We are learning the man behind the business, the real Skip, is in the hospital right now because of a propane tank that hit him while he was setting up for an event. News 6's Catherine Silver is at the flagship store in Osteen, where we're learning how exactly this happened.
At the corner of State Road 415 and Doyle Road, Skip's Western Outfitters is a staple in Osteen, a cornerstone in Central Florida since 1983. This is where Skip Patsos opened his first store.
He's like a pioneer.
It's also where the beloved businessman was hurt while setting up for a fall festival Saturday morning. How it happened is almost unbelievable. Florida Highway Patrol says a truck with a trailer attached was backing out of a driveway here onto Doyle Road into the path of a minivan. And when the van and truck collided, somehow a propane tank that was in the back of that trailer propelled and hit Skip.
It was just a very jarring and unexpected event.
I spoke to his daughter-in-law on the phone as Skip's family focuses on him healing and his business running. How is Skip doing now?
He's doing okay. He had emergency surgery on both of his legs. There will be a few months of bed rest, and you know that's tough on anybody, especially someone like Skip who is just an Energizer bunny. You definitely don't forget him once you've met him, and he's got such a big heart.
Dozens of people have said something similar or offered prayers on social media, including Brooks Vaughn with the band Hayfire.
They've sponsored the Hayfire band for a while now, so it's just, we're devastated by it. He's just a great guy.
He's just got this incredible ability to connect with people and make things happen. And he's just really, really a special person.
The event was the first of its kind since the pandemic and since Skip has been battling health issues, a chance to reconnect with the community he loves. We're told the accident happened just 30 minutes before it started.
Just be careful. I know that that's the message he wants to get across to everybody, whether you're driving or you're a pedestrian. Just be very careful. You know, realize how precious life is too, and hug your loved ones and be a part of your community.
In Osteen, Catherine Silver, News 6.
Now, we also asked the Florida Highway Patrol about the driver who caused the crash. They tell us the driver in the truck was ticketed for improper backing. Deputies have identified the 17-year-old who died in a shooting Friday night in Orange County. The sheriff's office says the 17-year-old's name is Jariel Huertas. Now, this happened near Keith Place and Kingsland Avenue in the Pine Hills area. Deputies say they found the teen and took him to the hospital where he died, but they have not given any other details. Orange County deputies are also investigating a shooting at a strip mall. We told you about this as breaking news this morning. This was the scene along University Boulevard near Goldenrod Road. News 6's Stephanie Rodriguez has the latest on this investigation.
It was around 2:30 this morning when Orange County deputies say they were called here after a reported shooting that involved 3 men who got into a fight. It happened here at the 7500 block of University Boulevard in this strip mall parking lot. According to the Orange County Sheriff's Office, 3 men were involved in a fight when one man in his 30s shot the 2 other men who are both in their 20s. Now, both of those men were taken to the hospital, one in critical condition and one with non-life-threatening injuries. The 30-year-old alleged shooter was also taken to the hospital with minor injuries he suffered during that altercation. Deputies have yet to say why the men got into a fight or tell us the shooter's identity. This is an active investigation, but the Orange County Sheriff's Office says all of the people involved in this altercation are accounted for. Once we have an update, we'll post it to clickorlando.com. Reporting in Orange County, Stephanie Rodriguez, News 6.
President Trump says he plans to send 200 National Guard troops to Portland, Oregon. The president says the troops will protect ICE facilities. The declaration sparked protests in Portland. State leaders filed a lawsuit against the administration challenging the deployment. Oregon's governor says the president is not listening to local leaders about what is really needed to combat crime and mental health issues.
When the president and I spoke yesterday, I told him in very plain language that there is no insurrection or threat to public safety that necessitates military intervention in Portland or any other city in our state.
President Trump has also authorized the use of federal troops in Memphis, Tennessee. Agents from 13 agencies will make up the Memphis Safe Task Force to help local law enforcement fight crime. It includes unarmed National Guard troops, several hundred state police officers, and members of ICE and the DEA. We are less than 24 hours away from leaders in Orange County making a change on a busy road, and they say this could get you home safer. Leaders are set to vote tomorrow on lowering the speed limit on a section of Taft-Vineland Road. They say it has seen hundreds of crashes since 2020. Your West Orange County community correspondent Tylisa Hampton spoke with those who take that road to and from work.
The drivers that I spoke with, they tell me they have their own reason for either why they want that speed limit to stay the same or change.
When people drive down Taft-Vineland Road, they can almost bet they will see car after car. But it's the speed drivers are going that has some checking their mirrors twice.
I hate it. Really, it's the one that takes me to work, the one that takes me home, and I try to avoid it. Sometimes I go around maybe 2 or 3 miles just to avoid this.
Right now, the speed limit is at 45 or 40 on the road, but as we saw, some drivers are clocking very different numbers. Today, the Orange County Commission will vote on if they will decrease the speed limit to 35 miles per hour on Taft-Vineland Road from Central Florida Parkway to South Orange Avenue. According to officials, the route's crash data reports 806 crashes from January 2020 through December 2024. 28% caused injuries and 4 deaths. The reason for the discussion in the first place is because concerned citizens requested the change after they said it presented a safety risk.
It'll be great because people really don't respect the speed limit.
But not every driver agrees.
For me, it's good. This is the only road I take it better than the other ones.
Believing dropping the speed limit will only cause more issues.
That create more traffic.
But others see the change as a potential solution.
When they recently put the middle so that people don't turn left where it was prohibited, they stopped doing it. So I think the changes will help.
And that county commission meeting, that's set to take place tomorrow at 9 a.m. We will make sure to keep you updated on if that speed limit change does get approved. Reporting, I'm your West Orange County community correspondent, Tylisa Hampton.
Well, a heads up, depending on where you work, more money could be coming to your next paycheck. Starting tomorrow, Florida's hourly minimum wage will increase. The new minimum wage is set to rise from $13 to $14 an hour. The change is due to Amendment 2. Back in 2020, voters approved a series of gradual hikes. Next year will mark the final scheduled increase at $15 an hour. After that, the minimum wage will be tied to inflation each year. Before the amendment passed, Florida's minimum wage was $8.46 an hour. Right now, the federal minimum wage in the United States is $7.25 an hour. News 6's Jana Manahalal spoke with small business owners about how they are preparing for this increase. See what they had to say coming up on News 6 at 5. Well, these days, businesses are getting instant feedback on their advertising, from Cracker Barrel to American Eagle. How culture wars are leading to rebranding, that's coming up. Plus,
Marion County Fire Rescue now has another Safe Haven baby box. We'll tell you why Safe Haven Baby Box says they're seeing an increase in demand for this life-saving resource.
We're tracking a couple of tropical downpours tonight that's indirectly related to Tropical Storm Imelda. We also have the dangerous beach conditions. We're going to have your latest forecast coming up at 4:47.
and before we head to break, we want to remind you to check out our primetime schedule on News 6 Plus. We have a new take on the day's news on News 6 tonight. That's at 9. Then go in depth as we track the tropics and answer your weather questions at 9:30. Then watch the late news an hour earlier. It's all tonight on News 6 Plus. And you can download our streaming app for free. Just search WKMG in your smart TV's app store. It's also available on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV.
Marion County Fire Rescue now has 2 safe haven baby boxes. Its newest one is here in Citra. Now, this comes as the organization says they've seen an increase for requests for this life-saving resource.
When you see the problem is when you see the solution.
Monica Kelsey is the founder and CEO of Safe Haven Baby Boxes. The organization prevents the illegal abandonment of newborns by raising awareness, offering a 24-hour hotline for mothers in crisis, and implementing the Safe Haven Baby Box as a last resort option for women who want to safely surrender their baby.
The baby boxes across this country are expanding because we're still having abandoned babies in the communities that don't have them.
Marion County now has 3 baby boxes. Kelsey says because of how big the county is, this makes a baby box more accessible to parents in a crisis situation.
We have to date twice contacted Uber to get mothers to facilities to surrender their infants. So having communities equipped with multiple ones so that they don't have to drive 50 miles is critical for some of these moms that don't have transportation.
James Banta is the fire chief for Marion County Fire Rescue.
Why do you think this is such a great option for mothers who are in crisis?
It gives them a stopgap, right? It gives them a place to go when they don't know where to go or what to do, and know that they're not going to go to jail for it. And additionally, it might also give the mother some time to come to realization and get the help she needs. It's not the end of the road for the mom.
Marion County's fire chief tells me more Safe Haven baby boxes are on the way, with 6 more planned as they continue renovating and building new fire stations. I'm your Marion County community correspondent, Emily McLeod, News 6.
Emily, thank you. We continue to stay on top of that breaking news happening right now on I-4. All eastbound lanes are blocked. This is near the Dr. Phillips exit. The Florida Highway Patrol now tells us 5 people have been taken to the hospital, and troopers are investigating this as potentially 2 separate crashes in this area. We're also now learning one of the vehicles involved is a semi-truck that overturned there, not a box truck. Traffic is being diverted in the area, and we're going to continue to stay on top of that for you. We do want to check in now with meteorologist Jonathan Kagas, who is standing by tracking some showers across Central Florida tonight, as well as everything that's happening right now in the tropics.
That's right, yeah, and thankfully the tropics are going to leave us alone. We are indirectly being impacted by that swirl you see off our coast there. This is where we have Imelda, and the core of this thing is staying way off our coast. You can see the western extent of the storm is still a couple hundred miles off out at sea, and it's pinwheeling away from us, or eventually will make that turn to the east. But what it is doing is sending back these downpours as it's inducing a pretty stiff breeze out of the north and east. And that's what we've been dealing with all day today, and pretty much what we'll be dealing with all day tomorrow as well, as we do a little dodging, if you will, these tropical downpours out there closer to Dr. Phillips. Right now, we have one of those downpours pushing through Oak Ridge. Good evening. A healthy downpour. Again, the darker reds indicate where we have the heavy rain. No lightning associated with these tonight, and that's likely going to be the case tomorrow. Again, maybe along the coast. That's your best shot for a rogue lightning strike, but most of these, again, are going to be pushing through without any kind of fanfare, other than some pretty quick hitting heavy rain. And you see what I'm talking about here. There's 9 o'clock. Again, there is the main piece of Tropical Storm Imelda, just barely on your screen, but you see the extra downpours pinwheeling back through. That's going to be overnight tonight. So again, don't be surprised if you do get a quick hitting downpour. It might wake you up in the middle of the night, especially close to the coast. Working your way into school or work tomorrow, same kind of deal. Closer to the coast is going to be the theme. And then we'll see a few of these try to push inland gradually through the course of the afternoon into the evening, just like what we're seeing out there today. And this should continue through about Wednesday before we get back into our kind of regularly scheduled programming, if you will, when it comes to our weather pattern. As we get into Tuesday, it is still going to stay breezy at times inland, wind gusts 20 to 25 miles an hour. Nothing crazy. You'll notice it there a little bit more so, though, right along the coast, as you may expect. Again, about a 30 to 35 mile per hour wind gust every now and then through about tomorrow afternoon into the evening, as Imelda kind of hangs on a little bit close by, but Umberto is going to continue to rip this thing back out to sea. Now here's a look at tomorrow.
Your forecast is sponsored by Ramjack.
Rain chances at 40% again for those tropical downpours pushing in. We're back to the mid-80s in Sanford. Good evening in Daytona Beach. We are at 83 again, going to be gusty at times as well. This is the crazy looking satellite that we have currently. This is Imelda, of course, closer to us. Again, it's lifting to the north for the next several hours. And then Umberto here, now that it was able to slow down a little bit, or because Imelda slowed down a little bit, was able to snatch it right off the coast. And then both of these guys are going to be yanked right out into the sea. The issue is going to be still, again, the beaches are going to have the big wave heights, and certainly the wave heights are going to continue to stay high, not only for planning on taking the boat out, and again, that's not going to be advised, but certainly at the beach, that's all the way through Friday. We still have wave heights close to the shore at about 6 to 8 feet. So again, it's going to be rough out there throughout the rest of the work week. But again, the good news is we're not talking about any kind of direct impacts, of course, as we've been talking about really since last week. 30% shot for downpours on Wednesday, 60% chance on Thursday, and that's when we get back to our more routine afternoon thunderstorm chances, Lisa.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. We have seen a lot of brands face a lot of controversy in the news lately. We'll have a look at how culture wars are affecting the way businesses advertise. That's next.
Coming up in the morning, if you're in the market for an electric vehicle, time is running out to save some cash.
The big government credit that's coming to an end and what it means for drivers looking to go green.
Plus, we'll have updates every 10 minutes with the latest on Imelda.
We'll see you for News 6 mornings starting at 6.
Culture wars have pushed products off the shelves and into the political fray, from Sydney Sweeney's American Eagle ad to Cracker Barrel's logo change. Companies are getting instant feedback. CBS's Christian Benavides takes us inside a marketing class at Florida International University, where students are watching the effects play out in real time.
Inside this classroom at Florida International University in Miami, senior Justin Jean-Baptiste and fellow social media marketing students are examining how company branding or rebranding can quickly go wrong.
Cracker Barrel.
Today's case study, Cracker Barrel's recent rebrand fail.
It's more of an old-timey feel, like nostalgia. With the rebrand, I feel like they were kind of leaving that behind.
The backlash quickly blew up on social media.
Facebook
Facebook and LinkedIn.
FIU Associate Professor Nancy Richmond says it's a sign of the times.
It used to be with branding with more traditional media that you would have about a month in order for a brand to be released, right? And now if you're trying to rebrand, it's immediate with social media.
It's not just Cracker Barrel that's been caught up in controversial rebranding.
The conversation got pretty catty when luxury car brand Jaguar decided to eliminate the large cat from its logo and release an entire ad without even showing a car.
They had a complete rebrand with both their logo and with their vehicles. It didn't work very well.
I'm not here to tell you to buy American Eagle chains.
On the flip side, American Eagle's Sydney Sweeney ad, which drew mixed reaction online, brought the company a stock bump after President Trump weighed in.
If Sydney Sweeney is a registered Republican, I think her ad is fantastic.
It's not just coming up with new ideas, it's really looking at who is your target market and what is it that they really want.
That's what The Gap aimed to do with their most recent ad, featuring girl group Cat's Eye. It snagged over 400 million views on social media, and according to the company's CEO, a nearly universal positive response. Brands are now on notice. Whether they hit or miss the mark, they'll know it faster than ever before. Cristian Benavides, CBS News, Miami.
News 6 at 5 is up next. Anchor Matt Austin is in the newsroom with what's ahead, Matt.
Stormy seas and rough waves are turning vacations into a challenge for cruise passengers due to Imelda in the Atlantic. Still to come, the warning about dangerous rip currents at the Brevard County beaches and how surfers are braving those elements. And a Kissimmee man is in shock after an apparent road rage incident turns violent on Florida's Turnpike. The latest on the investigation is coming up. And your forecast is only minutes away. Don't forget, you can stream all of our newscasts and live cameras like this look at Daytona Beach for free anytime on News 6 Plus. Our meteorologists are going to have a look at what is out there churning up the Atlantic today. More on Imelda coming up. Now at 5.
A tropical storm creating dangerous conditions at the beach. So what do cruise passengers think about getting on a sailing towards a storm? My report from Port Canaveral is coming up.
Plus, a road rage shooting on the turnpike. A Kissimmee driver narrowly escapes death when a bullet shatters his car window.
And coming up, the state increasing minimum wage from $13 to $14. What this could mean for customers like you.
You're watching News 6 at 5. Thank you for joining us on this Monday. I'm Matt Austin.
And I'm Lisa Bell. We begin tonight with the impacts of Imelda along our coast.
Taking a live look at Daytona Beach. Imelda staying out to sea, but it is causing some rough conditions at the beach.
Meteorologist Jonathan Kagis is keeping an eye on the tropics for us tonight. Jonathan?
Yeah, and again, as you mentioned, safely out at sea right now. The only issue where it's causing some of the danger is right along the beach, and if you're getting into the water, which is obviously not advised right now. We also have these tropical downpours coming in. We have that northeasterly breeze induced by Imelda. The storm itself, it is way out here, way out into the Atlantic. Again, there's the main shield of rain, if you will, from the storm itself. Again, what it's doing is generating that stiff northeasterly breeze to help get these downpours rolling. So again, these are not outer bands. These are just tropical downpours pushing through from the Atlantic. Some heavy rain, though, embedded in these guys here, moving into parts of Winter Garden, eventually Windermere, Dr. Phillips. We have the heavy rain trying to take a trip down I-4 tonight. Early heads up, I should say, from Oakland into Montverde. We have that downpour rolling right off of Lake Apopka tonight. This is something that's going to continue not only for the rest of tonight, but into tomorrow as well. The beach conditions brought to you by actually two storms. We have Imelda, which is the closer one here, but 585 miles away, we have the center of Major Hurricane Umberto that's still hanging out south of Bermuda. Just look how close the two are together. And again, we have crazy wave heights all the way from the northern side of the Bahamas to Bermuda and then back to the southeast corner of the United States. So it's the tandem of those two storms that are going to keep beach conditions pretty nasty over the next 7 days, give or take. 5 o'clock advisory in for Imelda. And again, this one continues to work its way away from the Florida coastline. Expected to become a hurricane, but again, safely moving away. We're watching it for Bermuda as it's expected to work its way into that vicinity. But again, direct impacts from Imelda are not going to happen this time around. We're talking about what that means for the rest of your week ahead coming up at about 5:17, guys.
Jonathan, thank you. Imelda is also causing concerns for coastal vacation plans as we take a live look at our Launch Credit Union port cam at Port Canaveral. This morning, several cruise ships came back hours early. Your Cape Canaveral community correspondent James Sparvero is asking the next cruise passengers if they're worried about the storm.
I'm here at Port Canaveral, where passengers like Lacey are about to get on the Utopia of the Seas. That's just on the other side of the Grill's Tiki Bar here. Lacey, the weather, though, this probably isn't the kind of vacation you were hoping for when you made your plans weeks or months back.
Of course not. The sun was shining, and we thought we were going to have the same kind of weather for today, but not so much.
Any concerns about going out on a cruise in a storm?
Just really the waves and maybe seasick, motion sickness, that kind of thing. We're prepared, though. We have our Dramamine and we have our little wristbands, and I think we're going to be okay.
You still have fun no matter what the weather's like when you go on a cruise?
We have the drink package, so I think we're going to be okay.
Utopia's cruise over the weekend ended a few hours early because of Imelda. Same for the Disney Wish and the Carnival Glory. Now in a new safety alert, Brevard County is warning people at the beach about dangerous rip currents. The county says always swim near lifeguards and don't swim near piers or jetties. Like Jetty Park, where no surprise, I found a lot of surfers. How rough are the waves?
It's not that bad here. The rest of the coastline looks pretty rough.
On clickorlando.com, we have an entire story about how to spot a rip current and how to escape one. I'll attach that story to this new one. In Brevard County, I'm your Cape Canaveral community correspondent, James Sparvero, News 6.
We are staying on top of breaking traffic news. All eastbound lanes on I-4 are blocked right now. This is near the Dr. Phillips exit. Troopers say it appears there were two separate crashes in that area. One of the vehicles, we are now learning, was a semi-truck. It flipped over. We're told 5 people have been taken to the hospital. We'll keep you updated here on News 6 and on clickorlando.com.
But tonight, the Highway Patrol is looking to find whoever fired shots at a car in an apparent case of road rage on the turnpike. This happened on Saturday morning in Osceola County. Investigators say a driver was heading north near US 192 when someone in another car shot at them. Your Osceola County community correspondent Laverne McGee spoke to the victim.
The police said that if I was 2 inches back, if my head was 2 inches back, I would have probably died at the moment. I was scared. I was shocked. I moved lanes.
Luis does not want us to show his face because he's still scared. He says on Saturday morning around 9:40, he was on his way to the store when a car cut him off as he was getting on the turnpike. Then shots were fired at him. Luckily, the bullet missed.
I didn't have any injuries other than some glass in my arm over here.
But the glass window of his red Toyota Camry was damaged, and he was only a few minutes away from his Kissimmee home.
When I look again, next thing I see is the passenger pointing at me with the gun, and they shot my car.
We were there when he was getting his window fixed. Osceola County Sheriff's Office told us it happened near Cross Prairie and Turnpike mile marker 244. And Florida Highway Patrol is now taking the lead on the investigation and looking for a suspect. If you have any information, please contact them. Luis says he'd be grateful for any help from witnesses.
If they had, happened to be passing by the time they shoot and they were able to take any license plate or anything, that could help the investigation.
I'm your Osceola County community correspondent in Kissimmee, Laverne McGee, News 6.
New information tonight on that Amber Alert out of Marion County last week. The sheriff's office now says it appears the whole thing was staged by the 17-year-old involved. The Amber Alert was issued Thursday evening when investigators say Caden Spate told his mom he was kidnapped by 4 Hispanic men in Dunellen during a shooting. That's where deputies found his truck, but investigators now say the next day Spate shot himself in the leg in Williston, then walked onto a roadway where someone would find him.
Naturally, my detectives had a lot of questions for Caden. However, his parents refused to allow my detectives to speak with him so that we could come to a true final conclusion in all this.
In that video statement, Marion County Sheriff Billy Woods said his team is continuing their investigation and said charges against the teen are still on the table. Orange County is one of 25 local government entities filing suit tonight against state leaders challenging the legality of Senate Bill 180.
The controversial measure was passed this legislative session. Your Orange County community correspondent, Mike Valenti, looked through this lawsuit and spoke to the lead attorney for the plaintiffs. So, Mike, we've heard from local leaders for some time about their concerns regarding this bill.
Yeah, Matt, right here in Orange County, in fact, we've heard commissioners in the past talk about how they believe SB 180 undermines local home rule authority. And that's reflected in this 46-page lawsuit. At the outset of it, the plaintiff's attorney writes that SB 180 represents the largest incursion into local home rule authority in the history of Florida since the adoption of the state constitution in 1968. You may remember that this bill in its original form was framed as a measure to help local governments rebuild after emergencies like hurricanes. But local governments argue that a last-minute amendment expanded the bill's scope, effectively preventing counties and municipalities from adopting any new local land use regulations and comprehensive plans.
Local governments are supposed to look at conditions and be able to change the rules based on changing conditions and changing experiences. This makes that impossible.
So some of the other plaintiffs aside from Orange County include the cities of Deltona and Edgewater and the town of Windermere. We've reached out to all the defendants, the state secretary of commerce, the CFO, the head of the Department of Revenue, the commissioner of agriculture, and the executive director of the Florida Division of Emergency Management. So far, we have only heard back from the Department of Revenue, spokesperson there telling us they do not comment on pending litigation. Lisa?
Mike Valenti reporting for us. Thank you. Florida's public universities are continuing to make the grade. 4 schools now are ranked among the top 50 public universities in the nation. That's according to U.S. News and World Report. In a news conference at the University of Florida earlier today, Governor DeSantis said the state's commitment to affordable education is key to that success.
I've been a big supporter of the Bright Future Scholarship Program. So if you're somebody who is a Florida high school student, Florida resident, and you get into the University of Florida, chances are, if you're able to get in here, you qualify for Bright Futures.
Florida, Florida State, the University of South Florida, and Florida International all made the top 50 for best public schools. Still to come, a new safe haven for newborns in Marion County.
After a successful adoption from the first baby box in Ocala, the county is expanding its commitment to saving lives. How this temperature-controlled system is giving parents in crisis a secure way to surrender their newborns.
But first, Florida's minimum wage set to increase tomorrow. How the change will impact workers and businesses across the state. That's next. You're watching News 6 at 5. We'll be right back.
Today's Port Canaveral Cam is sponsored by Launch Credit Union.
Starting tomorrow, the hourly minimum wage for workers in Florida will rise from $13 to $14 an hour. The change stems from Amendment 2, passed by voters in 2020, which set up a series of gradual hikes.
But some say it's still not enough to live in Central Florida. Your Orange County community correspondent Jana Minhalal gets answers.
More money in your pocket may sound like a great thing at first, but for the people who will see this raise, that money still isn't enough to afford living. Florida's minimum wage will increase to $14 an hour as a part of a statewide plan that raises the pay by $1 every September until it hits $15 in 2026. Dennis Jones, the owner of Winter Garden Wheelworks, says his employees need a livable wage.
We've been above the minimum wage for our employees for a long time. We've known this is coming and trying to pay a living wage for people has been our goal for a long, long time.
Jones says even if the minimum wage goes up, it may not matter.
I don't think it really makes a whole lot of difference because the prices and the cost of living is going up and the minimum wage goes up, so it kind of still stays the same. I don't understand how they expect people to go and make a life for themselves when even well-educated people come out of college and they're making minimum wage.
According to the MIT Living Wage Calculator, it says that if you are a single adult living in Central Florida with no kids, you're actually going to need about $25 an hour to afford basic living necessities like rent and food.
Abby Lancaster is the general manager of Oxum Coffee in Winter Garden and says paying a livable wage is a tough balance for small businesses.
I think it's really important to make sure that our employees do have a livable wage. It's really tricky sometimes in small business because obviously with the cost of food going up and the cost of really just everything going up, labor also goes into that. So it's a challenge, but it's one that we believe in and we think that it's important.
Lancaster says every business that pays employees more must ultimately charge more, passing the minimum wage increase onto her customers. In Orange County, your community correspondent, Jada Manahal, News 6.
Time now to get a check of your weather. Meteorologist Jonathan Kegas has a look at all of it, from our impacts right here to what's going on out in the Atlantic.
That's right, yeah, and some of that stuff out in the Atlantic certainly helping to chew up our beaches a little bit. It's a little dangerous again right along the coast. That is our main impact with both Imelda and Umberto. Again, both of those off of our coast and will stay that way. Also, because of Imelda being so close by, it's inducing that breeze pretty stiff at times out of the north and east, and it's helping to generate these downpours out here. So watching some heavier stuff closer to Windermere, leaving Winter Garden or moving into Winter Garden, Oakland, right on the lake in Orange, West Orange County line here, would take you closer in. And if you have plans tonight to be outside or tomorrow, download that free News 6 weather app. It's a great tool to not only stay up with the forecast, but you can track the downpours, any kind of lightning that's out there yourself. We don't have any lightning. These tropical downpours seldom do. BIMS, good evening. We have a healthy downpour sliding right down I-95 now. So if you're planning on taking a trip up I-95, say from Port St. John or Titusville north, be on the lookout that we do have some of those healthier downpours in the mix. We'll take you further down I-95 with more tropical showers or downpours moving through Vieira and then eventually heading toward us in Deer Park if they continue to drift off to the west like that. And this is going to be the theme that we're in over the next couple of days. Certainly offshore, the ominous sky there as some of these tropical downpours pinwheel in. That's a live look in Daytona Beach tonight with Daytona Beach Skycam. Temperatures back to the lower 80s. The breeze, you saw it there, sustained at about 21 miles an hour. The closer one is Imelda. This will continue its northerly trajectory for a short time, and then eventually Umberto is going to yank it off our coast even further and take them both out to sea. Again, you see the white lines on your screen. That's that northeasterly wind that's going to keep that breeze with us for the next day or so and keep these downpours kind of pinwheeling through Central Florida. That's 7 to 8 o'clock on your Monday evening, and same kind of deal, just in and out of downpours. You see the pinwheel motion there. That's where we have the bigger stuff out at sea closer to the storm. There's 1 o'clock on your Tuesday. A few more of these try to make their way with the heaviest stuff and the most widespread rain right along the coast again tomorrow. Just doing a little dodging again through the afternoon. That's 11 o'clock on your Tuesday evening. More of the same. I think we'll continue this through Wednesday before we kind of break free from this tropical-esque pattern. Now here's a look at tomorrow.
Your forecast is sponsored by Payne Law.
Rain chances at 40% tomorrow, 86 in Mount Dora. We're at 83 degrees in Daytona Beach. Titusville, good evening. We're back to 85, 87 in Melbourne. Mineola in Groveland, the further west we are, as we are from the Atlantic, the drier we're going to be. Still having to just dodge a little bit out there, but I think we're good in the morning. 76 by 9 o'clock, 11 o'clock in the morning, we're at 81, 85 by 1, and then the rain chances go up a little bit to 20% after lunchtime tomorrow as we watch some of those downpours pinwheel in off the Atlantic. We're at a 40% shot area-wide tomorrow, 30% chance on Wednesday. Those will go back up on Thursday. We're going to get back into our more routine weather patterns. So we'll add thunderstorms back in the mix. Most of these that we see are not going to have lightning in them for the next day or so. 60% shot for downpours on Saturday with highs in the mid-80s, guys.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. Creativity, showmanship, and teamwork all on display at a packed sporting event over the weekend.
Who better to host the Red Bull Tandem Roller Coaster event in the U.S. for the first time than Central Florida, a major hub for roller coasters. Trooper Steve was in an extra good mood today as he and his partner conquered the challenge. We'll have a full recap coming up.
Your Monday evening traffic alert. Chances that the roadways will be wet, so you need to make sure you're paying attention, especially out in those construction zones, hydroplaning, things like that. You'll see lane closures I-4 east and westbound routinely between the turnpike down on 528, and then some lane closures out on the southern portion of the turnpike out by like Kissimmee Park Road and Canoe Creek. I'm Trooper Steve with your News 6 traffic alert. Drive safely. I'll catch you in the morning.
Here's a live look at downtown Orlando from our Light Orlando Delivering Hope camera. You're watching News 6 at 5. We'll be right back. Prices at the gas pump are trending lower to end the month of September. Right now, the current Florida average is $2.97 a gallon, down a few cents from a week ago. I've seen it a lot cheaper than that in spots. The national average sits at $3.13 a gallon. According to AAA, the fall season is a time when the prices tend to be lower.
I think this is probably the only sporting event where you can get non-athletes convinced to do something extreme in front of thousands of people that you don't know.
Oh, I was worried when I saw this.
I'm worried about that News 6 shoulder fanny pack thing he had going on. So the most fun race on water ended up being quite the memorable experience for Trooper Steve. He and Sandra Ray from XL 1067 conquered the Red Bull tandem roller coaster. They actually made it. I thought that first curve there was going to send them right into the water.
Well, that and the tight suit. Like, I feel like you need to be a little limber when you're, doing something like that, and that could be a little restrictive.
It did not restrict them.
No, it didn't.
They crushed it out there. The duo managed to stay dry while many competitors took some unexpected plunges out there into Cranes Roost Park's waters on Saturday. The turnout was nuts. It was actually bigger than Red Hot and Boom.
It was massive when you see the video of just how big that crowd was. So this is the first time a U.S. location has hosted the acclaimed European event, where teams of two are challenged to transform ordinary tandem bikes into some wild, non-motorized crafts. Trooper Steve recapped the exciting journey from the beginning all the way to the finish line.
I
want to take a moment and introduce you guys to Joey and Kara of our creative team. So everything that you guys see, whether it's social media, online, cool graphics, or just pretty much anything that comes from us and shows up on TV, you guys, that's us. These two right here worked non-stop on our bike. They named it, Freckles. It has some, that was the new sixth name. Try to put some freckles up on the front there. But this was our tandem bike for the roller coaster ride for the Red Bull Challenge out at Cranehurst Park. And Joey and Kara were the masterminds behind it. And you guys worked so hard on this. Why was this so exciting for you guys?
I mean, this event is like a giant blank canvas. Right? And so we've got to run wild.
This is the drone footage from Red Bull there. That drop in, guys, look at this. Okay, what you're watching is Sandra and I going on the tandem bike challenge here, and then it drops down, and there's a bump here. Look at, oh! Oh my.
Watching it over and over, it still gets me.
It is very remarkable that they made it all the way to the end. We
What
had no faith.
What impressive athletes
We
they are.
had zero faith. News 6 was the only television station that competed in the event. You can watch more videos from the event and Trooper Steve's interview with Kara and Joey from our creative services team in this web story at clickorlando.com. I don't know if you saw, we have video of Dwight Howard, who was also out there.
Yes. He's trying to get back into Orlando's
It was
good
not
graces.
good. Not
His
good.
feet were dragging the whole time.
He was trying to walk it.
No, they did a
Yeah.
much better job than Dwight Howard. No surprise there. Proud of those guys. I mean, they were
Absolutely.
actually practicing out in the parking lot.
And it paid off.
It did.
Yes.
Practice makes perfect. Well, it protects newborns and alerts rescue teams immediately. Now another safe haven baby box has been established in Central Florida.
Why there is an urgent need for more baby boxes in Marion County and how many more are on the way.
A beloved business owner in the hospital after a tragic accident. What we're learning as the community rallies around Skip, the man behind Skip's Western Outfitters.
Glad you're with us. I'm Lisa Bell.
I'm Matt Austin. You're watching News 6 at 5. We are following several top stories for you right now.
Imelda is causing concern for coastal vacation plans. Early this morning, several cruise ships came back hours early and rerouted today when they left again. Brevard County is also warning people about dangerous rip currents, saying always swim near lifeguards and do not swim near piers or jetties.
Florida Highway Patrol is looking to find whoever fired shots at a car in an apparent road rage case on the turnpike. It happened on Saturday morning in Osceola County. Investigators say a driver was headed north near US 192 when someone in another car shot at them. You can see the damage done. If you have information, you should call FHP. Orange County is one of 25 local government entities filing suit against state leaders, challenging the legality of Senate Bill 180. This bill was originally framed as a measure to help local governments rebuild after emergencies like hurricanes, but local governments argue that a last-minute amendment expanded the bill's scope, effectively preventing counties and cities from adopting any new local land use regulations or comprehensive plans.
Taking a live look at Daytona Beach, where rough beach and marine conditions are settling in.
Meteorologist Jonathan Kagas is keeping an eye on two systems impacting our coast.
Yeah, we'll likely see the worst of the worst come tomorrow by the afternoon into the evening in terms of the biggest wave heights and the worst of the rip current risk. The rip current risk should stay with us through the evening. The waves will start to back off a little bit towards the end of the work week, but we're in the dangerous beach conditions for a while. We have some heavier downpours in the mix right now. These are courtesy of Imelda. These aren't outer bands, but what's happening is we have a northeasterly breeze off of the Atlantic induced by the storm, and it's helping to generate these tropical downpours. That heavier one is continuing to slide down I-4 closer to Four Corners tonight, especially on the west side of Kissimmee, moving into Celebration. The heaviest stuff is just leaving Dr. Phillips as we speak right now. A few itty-bitty showers right now. Again, these are just quick hitting. They're relatively heavy, but they are over in a relatively quick clip as well. This is one I was tracking for you guys. It was moving south at Titusville, Port St. John. Good evening. We had a stray downpour slide through. All of this is pushing back into East Orange County and northeastern Osceola County, so watching for you guys in Deer Park. Again, there's nothing severe here, just a gusty tropical downpour sliding through. There's also no lightning associated with these guys either because of the systems in tandem. Look how close these are. That's still a Category 4 Hurricane Umberto out there, less than 600 miles away from Tropical Storm Imelda, and the two of those that's why we're talking about that long duration, dangerous beach condition event. We'll take a look at some of the wave height forecasts coming up at about 5:47 if you have plans to head out into the water, guys.
Jonathan, thank you. We continue to stay on top of breaking traffic news. Take a look at this. The Florida Highway Patrol says 5 people were taken to the hospital after what appears to be 2 crashes on I-4. This is primarily affecting the eastbound lanes near the Dr. Phillips exit. One of the vehicles, we are now learning, was a semi-truck. It actually flipped over. The eastbound lanes, all of them were blocked earlier. It looks like traffic is now moving slowly in that area as we take a live look at the backups out there. We're going to continue to stay on top of this and keep you updated here on News 6 and at clickorlando.com.
Well, you have probably heard the name Skip's Western Outfitters from Daytona or Osteen. Well, tonight we're learning the man behind the business. The real Skip is in the hospital after an accident this weekend. Our Catherine Silver is at their flagship store in Osteen. We're learning Skip was setting up for an event when all this happened.
At the corner of State Road 415 and Doyle Road, Skip's Western Outfitters is a staple in Osteen, a cornerstone in Central Florida since 1983. This is where Skip Patsos opened his first store.
He's like a pioneer.
It's also where the beloved businessman was hurt while setting up for a fall festival Saturday morning. How it happened is almost unbelievable. Florida Highway Patrol says a truck with a trailer attached was backing out of a driveway here onto Doyle Road into the path of a minivan. And when the van and truck collided, somehow a propane tank that was in the back of that trailer propelled and hit Skip.
It was just a very jarring and unexpected event.
I spoke to his daughter-in-law on the phone as Skip's family focuses on him healing and his business running. How is Skip doing now?
He's doing okay. He had emergency surgery on both of his legs. There will be a few months of bed rest, and you know that's tough on anybody, especially someone like Skip who is just an Energizer bunny. He definitely don't forget him once you've met him, and he's got such a big heart.
Dozens of people have said something similar or offered prayers on social media, including Brooks Vaughn with the band Hayfire.
They've sponsored the Hayfire band for a while now, so it's just, we're devastated by it. He's just a great guy.
He's just got this incredible ability to connect with people and make things happen. And he's just really, really a special person.
The event was the first of its kind since the pandemic and since Skip has been battling health issues, a chance to reconnect with the community he loves. We're told the accident happened just 30 minutes before it started.
Just be careful. I know that that's the message he wants to get across to everybody, whether you're driving or you're a pedestrian. Just be very careful. Realize how precious life is too. And hug your loved ones and be a part of your community.
In Osteen, Catherine Silver, News 6.
What a crazy freak accident there. We also asked FHP about the driver who caused the crash. They tell us the driver in the truck was ticketed for improper backing. Now to a woman who sued over injuries she claims she suffered on a Universal roller coaster. She now has settled with the theme park. We first told you about the announcement last week. The woman says she was riding the Stardust Racers coaster at Epic Universe back in April when her head shook violently into the seat's headrest, causing permanent injuries. Now that is the same coaster where a man died after riding it earlier this month. The suit was seeking damages exceeding $50,000. We know the case has been settled, but her lawyer sent us a statement yesterday saying no other information can be provided. The funeral for the man involved in the most recent incident on the ride, Kevin Rodriguez Zavala, was held on Friday. His family is now being represented by high-profile attorney Ben Crump. Now, we're told tomorrow witnesses who were on that ride are expected to tell the public what they saw.
This just in now, the Palestinian government says it welcomes President Trump's plan to end the Israel-Hamas war and is vowing to make reforms demanded by the U.S. This comes after the White House hosted Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu today as the two leaders discussed a deal to end the war in Gaza. CBS's Natalie Brand has the details on the proposal.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu arrived to the White House facing pressure to accept a peace deal with Hamas.
President Trump, are you confident, sir, there'll be peace in Gaza anytime soon?
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt confirmed the administration has presented a 21-point plan to both sides.
The president has been working tirelessly on this effort to bring this war in Gaza and to bring this conflict in the Middle East to an end. He wants to see all of the hostages released.
There are reports it includes an immediate ceasefire, the release of remaining Israeli hostages within 48 hours, and a post-war plan that includes governance in Gaza without Hamas.
The president knows and believes that this is as good of a plan as these sides are going to see.
The president met with Arab leaders last week on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly, and the administration says it's had direct and indirect conversations with Hamas as well. Family and loved ones of hostages rallied in Tel Aviv over the weekend, calling Netanyahu an obstacle in finalizing a ceasefire agreement.
He has sabotaged every chance for a deal, blown up contacts, bombed the intermediaries, incited against the hostage families.
Over the weekend, Israeli forces moved into Gaza City's residential areas. The Israeli military saying it struck 140 military targets over the past 24 hours. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
New at 5 now, a stolen car suspect led multiple enforcement agencies on a high-speed chase. Just after midnight, Volusia County deputies spotted a stolen blue Hyundai on I-4. According to FHP, the driver, wearing a black ski mask, reached speeds up to 100 miles an hour in the rain and at one point even drove in the wrong direction on the interstate. Troopers tried to stop the car with a pit maneuver. The suspect managed to regain control. Then a second pit maneuver on West Michigan Street brought that chase to an end when the car crashed into a building. The driver tried to run. They were quickly stopped by a trooper's taser. The suspect, identified as Joseph Tyrone Cooper, is now in custody.
Marion County now has another safe haven baby box for moms who feel they cannot care for their newborns, including this baby box. The organization behind the effort will dedicate at least 3 more baby boxes in Florida this week alone. Your Marion County community correspondent Emily McLeod joins us from Citra.
Marion County Fire Rescue now has 2 Safe Haven baby boxes. Its newest one is here in Citra. Now, this comes as the organization says they've seen an increase for requests for this life-saving resource.
When you see the problem is when you see the solution.
Monica Kelsey is the founder and CEO of Safe Haven Baby Boxes. The organization prevents the illegal abandonment of newborns by raising awareness, offering a 24-hour hotline for mothers in crisis, and implementing the Safe Haven Baby Box as a last resort option for women who want to safely surrender their baby.
The baby boxes across this country are expanding because we're still having abandoned babies in the communities that don't have them.
Marion County now has 3 baby boxes. Kelsey says because of how big the county is, this makes a baby box more accessible to parents in a crisis situation.
We have to date twice contacted Uber to get mothers to facilities to surrender their infants. So having communities equipped with multiple ones so that they don't have to drive 50 miles is critical for some of these moms that don't have transportation.
James Banta is the fire chief for Marion County Fire Rescue.
Why do you think this is such a great option for mothers who are in crisis?
It gives them a stopgap, right? It gives them a place to go when they don't know where to go or what to do, and know that they're not going to go to jail for it. And additionally, it might also give the mother some time to come to realization and get the help she needs. It's not the end of the road for the mom.
Marion County's fire chief tells me more Safe Haven baby boxes are on the way, with 6 more planned as they continue renovating and building new fire stations. I'm your Marion County community correspondent, Emily McLeod, News 6.
Well, the company behind Madden and The Sims is being sold for a hefty price tag.
Details on a record-breaking deal in the video gaming world that's coming up.
Plus, it is World Heart Day, and the Orlando Fire Department's increasing public awareness and skills for saving lives during cardiac emergencies. We're going to take you to this life-saving lesson next.
Tonight, the Orlando Fire Department is addressing a serious need in Central Florida. In Hispanic communities, people are significantly more likely to die from cardiac arrest because they are not getting CPR training in their own language.
Your Orange County community correspondent, Jana Manohalal, who has undergone open heart surgery herself, shows us the free training.
People who suffer cardiac arrest in Hispanic neighborhoods are 44% less likely to survive. That's often due to a lack of access to CPR training in their own language and bystanders not knowing what to do. The City of Orlando Fire Department worked to turn World Heart Day into a way to fix the lack of CPR training for the Hispanic community by offering free hands-only CPR and defibrillator training at the Walt Disney Amphitheater in Lake Eola Park. And it was offered in both English and Spanish. The City of Orlando Fire Department tells me that every minute that goes by when a person does not receive CPR when they're unresponsive means that their chance of survival goes down by 10%. So you need to act fast. 8-year-old Michaela Salcedo says that anyone can save a life.
Because even though you're a young kid like me, doesn't mean you can't do it.
Firefighter and EMT Benio Selvea has served Orlando for 20 years and says training people is crucial to Hispanic communities.
Doing CPR is taxing. It's taxing on the person doing the compression, and it's good to have somebody who's there that can help you. So the more people who learn, the more people help each other. You switch out maybe once or twice, the fire department takes over. That person has a good chance of returning to the community, society.
If you missed today's training, no need to worry. The City of Orlando is hosting a class this coming Saturday, but you must pre-register. We will have all the details on this in our Healthy Heart section on clickorlando.com. In Orange County, your community correspondent, Jana Manohalal, News 6.
All right, we want to check in now with meteorologist Jonathan Kegas, who's standing by tracking that storm, of course, off the coast of us, but also some showers that we're seeing kicked up by that.
Yeah, and it's indirectly related to the storm. As the storm lifts north, it has that stiff northeast breeze off the Atlantic, and that's why we're generating these tropical downpours. There is the storm, again, passing the center, still way, way out here. The outer bands, again, working their way still out to sea. What we are dealing with, you can see these itty-bitty downpours pushing onshore. Some of these have packing a punch tonight, but nonetheless, it's because we have that breeze now out of the north and east. If you want to track the downpours that are out there or the rest of this hurricane season, the Hurricane app built in, just download the free News 6 weather app, and there are a lot of toys in there to track some things. See the lightning detection picking up some of the bigger thunderstorms within some of the outer bands of Imelda, again, as it churns safely out at sea. It is causing dangerous beach conditions. Just be mindful of that. A couple of these downpours on the heavier side. Port St. John, good evening. We were watching these for you guys as this cell lifted out of Titusville. No lightning associated with these. Oftentimes when you have these tropical downpours, it's a bit too warm of an environment to create the ice in the cloud needed to create the lightning in the mix. So we don't have much of that going on. No strikes being detected right now. I've been watching this cell working through parts of Windermere, Ocoee tonight, Gotha. Now it's over the attractions, leaving Epcot alone, heading towards Champions Gate, working through parts of the Four Corners region. Looking towards Asatula, we are nice and dry. Just a couple of stray downpours moving into Lake County tonight. The theme again over the next couple of days, we are going to be dodging these tropical downpours. And the further west you are, the drier you're going to be, the less dodging you have to do. There's a live look for us in downtown Orlando. This is kind of split here. You see the darker clouds and a few downpours on the left side of your screen. And on the right side, we have some bubbling clouds with the heating of the day, but also a little bit of sunshine breaking free. It's a live look in our downtown Orlando, delivering Hope Skycam tonight. Light Orlando delivering Hope Skycam. We have air temperatures back into the lower 80s right now. There are our tandem storms. Again, this is still Category 4 Umberto, less than 600 miles away from Tropical Storm Imelda. You see the radar overlaid there. There's some of the heavier rain, but the center just north of the Bahamas, that it will continue to lift north for the next couple of hours. And then due to the proximity, those two storms are going to dance with each other, and Umberto is going to yank it further away from the Florida coastline over the next couple of days. So Umberto is doing numbers to help out the United States, albeit the dangerous beach conditions expected to continue. There's 7 to 8 o'clock. Notice more downpours again sneaking on shore. That's going to be the theme again getting into tomorrow. That 6 a.m. we have more of those downpours trying to slide on shore, and then that's what's going to be the theme of the rest of tomorrow and likely into Wednesday before we finally shed this tropical air mass and then we get rid of that storm further out at sea and we get our routine thunderstorms back. In terms of the beach conditions, rip current risks are going to be high, likely for the rest of this work week and likely into the weekend as well. The beach waves again crashing on the beach about 6 to 10 feet tomorrow and Wednesday. Those will start to back off a little bit on Thursday, and then certainly on the boating conditions as you might imagine, not going to be the best. 10 to 15 foot waves just offshore there tomorrow, Wednesday, and then backing off a little bit, relatively speaking anyway, by Thursday. We have both of those storms together, so it's causing the big swells to continue on a wide swath of the Atlantic, so it's going to take a while to get those to settle down. Now here's a look at tomorrow.
Your forecast is sponsored by Publix.
Rain chances at 40% as we do a little dodging tomorrow. We're at 86 in Mount Dora, Leesburg. Good evening. We are at 87. Again, rain chances back to 40%. They'll go down a little bit as we move into Wednesday and then back up to Thursday as we get back to our more routine weather pattern and fire off our own daily afternoon thunderstorms, guys.
Jonathan, thank you. If you play Madden or The Sims, your favorite games are about to have new owners.
Details on the massive deal that's making history. That's coming up.
Plus, are you ready for an album drop? How some local attractions are celebrating the upcoming release of Taylor Swift's Life of a Showgirl. That's coming up. And ahead at 6.
People across Florida tell News 6 they are getting priced out of their mobile homes. I'm investigator Lewis Bolden. A class action lawsuit claims a group of corporations conspired to raise prices at mobile home parks.
That's like a monopoly. You control everything and the consumer gets nothing.
The data the lawsuit claims was used illegally and how this impacts mobile home parks in Central Florida. Coming up.
Coming up in the morning, if you're in the market for an electric vehicle, time is running out to save some cash.
The big government credit that's coming to an end and what it means for drivers looking to go green.
Plus, we'll have updates every 10 minutes with the latest on Imelda.
We'll see you for News 6 mornings starting at 6.
One of the biggest names in video games is about to be sold in a record-breaking deal. Electronic Arts, the company behind popular games like Madden, NFL, and The Sims, will be bought for $52.5 billion. The deal would be the largest private equity buyout in history. 3 major players are behind the purchase: Silver Lake Partners, Saudi Arabia's sovereign wealth fund, and Affinity Partners, a firm run by Jared Kushner. The deal will end EA's 36-year run as a public company. One of the company's studios is in Orlando's Creative Village, just outside of downtown. It's unclear if and how the deal will impact jobs there. We have reached out for comment.
A new high-tech attraction is coming to Orlando's Icon Park, and it's promising to transform the way we experience art. Arte Museum, an immersive digital art exhibition, will open its first Florida location in 2027, joining Blue Man Group on the Universal Boulevard side of Icon Park. Visitors will step into rooms filled with floor-to-ceiling digital art where waterfalls will tower above them, flowers will glow, and aurora skies will light up the space. The Korean design company District is behind the experience, which already draws crowds in Las Vegas, New York, Dubai, and South Korea. Meantime, for fans gearing up for Taylor Swift's new album drop on Friday, Icon Park is the place to celebrate, apparently. The Museum of Illusions is going Swift mode with a 5-day countdown to her new album, The Life of a Showgirl. Through October 3rd, the museum will feature Swift-themed decor, playlists, and photo ops. And don't forget about the photo ops with a newly acquired Reputation Taylor Swift wax figure at Madame Tussauds Orlando. We have a lot more to come on News 6 at 6.
That's right. We're keeping a close eye on conditions along Central Florida's coast with the impacts of 2 Atlantic storms being felt in the water. We're live along the beach with the latest.
If I was 2 inches back, if my head was 2 inches back, I would have probably died at the moment.
And police are still trying to track down the suspect who shot into a car over the weekend. Hear from the man who narrowly escaped with his life. Here's a live look at downtown Orlando from our Light Orlando Delivering Hope camera. You're watching News 6. We'll be right back. Now at 6, Central Florida's coast feeling the impacts of action in the tropics. We're following the conditions on the beach and at the port. Plus,
next thing I see is the passenger pointing at me with the gun.
A man remains in fear of his safety after being shot at on the Florida Turnpike. What we know is investigators search for the shooter. And later, are companies colluding to raise your rent? The accusations revealed in a new lawsuit obtained by News 6. News 6 at 6 starts now. Tropical storm Imelda and Hurricane Humberto are continuing to churn in the Atlantic. Unfortunately, neither will impact us here on land. Meteorologist Jonathan Kegas joins us now. Jonathan, we have 5 weeks left of hurricane season. Is there anything to worry? Yeah, I know you're counting down. Is there anything to worry about?
On wood. So, sorry, I keep
I know. On the horizon. What are we worried about?
Yeah, thankfully nothing imminent is out there, at least in the foreseeable future. Of course, we do have these two on the board, as Matt mentioned, obviously not coming here. We were talking about that last week, that we would likely have these storms spin safely away from Florida. Right now, what we are watching is you can see the kind of the outer periphery of the outer bands of Imelda right there. I mean, that is far off our coast to the westernmost extent of that storm. What it is doing, it has that stiff northeasterly breeze, so we have these downpours being generated because of the wind out of the north and east induced by the storms. We have these kind of self-generated tropical downpours, if you will, that will continue to slide in over the next couple of days. Now, the proximity of these two guys, well, guy and girl, we have Imelda close to us and then Humberto hanging out south of Bermuda. That, by the way, is still a Category 4 storm. It's going to create huge swells throughout the entirety of the Southwest Atlantic, so it's going to take a while for the beach conditions that are continuing to get more dangerous, probably leading up till tomorrow, and then eventually trying to subside. Will continue for a while. Again, looking ugly at the beaches. For more on how it's looking out there, we're going to send things to Troy Campbell.
Yeah, so right now we're standing on Daytona Beach. We're right next to the pier. And if you take a look behind me, you can see those waves. Now, we've seen some people out here, but gotta tell you, not too many. Now, officials have been warning for swimmers to stay out of the water, but if they do, people are urged to swim in front of a lifeguard station. Now, that's because of a rip current warning and also high surf. Volusia Sheriff Mike Chitwood says lifeguards have made hundreds of rescues here along the coast in the past several days. He says a 51-year-old tourist actually lost their life out on the water after he was swept away. Now, with the two storms brewing out in the Atlantic, the conditions are expected to continue into tomorrow. Heavy surf is expected to be between 3 and 7 feet today, but tomorrow it's expected to be between 6 and 9 feet. Conditions are expected to improve later this week. We spoke to some people visiting who say they had to come and see the surf for themselves. What is it that we're doing right now?
Watching the water. I saw the surfers start walking down here, and I said, let's go see what they can do. And they're crazy doing it out there.
Yeah, how would you explain the conditions out there?
It's crazy. It was pouring last night, and the waves just are amazing to watch. I love watching them.
What do you think about the people who are actually going into the water?
Oh, they're definitely beach bums, you know, like that's their life, and they're loving it. And
even though it's so far out there, it's still, you want to see it in person.
Yeah, I mean, just seeing, I keep trying to look for the storm way out there, and you just can't see it, but you see all the effects here on the beach.
It wasn't too wild. I mean, we didn't go too far out, so it was a good job.
Yeah, what's the key to enjoying it safely?
Stay close to where you could feel your feet planted, and if there's a lifeguard nearby, stay around, but not just, you know, be cognizant of where you are.
And it's also pretty windy out here. Volusia County does remain under a wind advisory, and they say some of those gusts could get up to 40 miles an hour. And of course, we'll continue to monitor these conditions. Live in Volusia County, Troy Campbell, News 6, back to you.
Troy, thank you. Taking a live look at our Launch Credit Union camera at Port Canaveral, where you know two storms in the Atlantic impacted some people's vacation plans. But as you can see, all ships are out to sea tonight. This morning, several cruises came back to port hours early, but it's not impacting departing ships, which are setting sail as scheduled. Your Port Canaveral community correspondent, James Sparvero, spoke with people scheduled to get on a cruise today who told him they're not worried about the weather.
Any concerns about going out on a cruise in a storm?
Just really the waves and maybe seasick, motion sickness, that kind of thing. We're prepared though. We have our Dramamine and we have our little wristbands, and I think we're going to be okay.
On Brevard's county beaches, officials are warning people about dangerous rip currents and are urging anyone who chooses to get into the water to swim near those lifeguards, stay away from the piers or the jetties. Stay up to date with any changes in the weather by downloading our News 6 weather app. It is a one-stop shop for your daily forecast, your radar, tropical updates, and more, all for free on the Apple App Store and Google Play. If you're about to head out into rush hour traffic tonight, be ready for some potential delays. This is a live look at I-4 eastbound near the 528 and Dr. Phillips, where one lane just reopened after a semi-truck crash sent multiple people to the hospital. Officials say the truck overturned. Multiple cars were crashed in this, sending 5 people to the hospital. Traffic from this crash is backing up about 2 miles down the road. At this point, all eastbound lanes on I-4 are shut down at State Road 528, right near the Orange County Convention Center. It's busy enough there. As soon as we learn more about the crash, we'll let you know. Sticking with the roads now, the Osceola County Sheriff's Office is looking for whoever was involved in an incident from over the weekend. So officials say 2 cars were driving on the Florida Turnpike just east of Kissimmee when one opened fire on the other just before 10 Saturday morning. While investigators are still trying to figure out whoever started the shooting, your Osceola County community correspondent Laverne McGee spoke with the driver who was nearly shot, who remains in fear for his safety tonight.
The police said that if I was 2 inches back, if my head was 2 inches back, I would have probably died at the moment. I was scared. I was shocked. I moved lanes.
Luis does not want us to show his face because he's still scared. He says on Saturday morning around 9:40, he was on his way to the store when a car cut him off as he was getting on the turnpike. Then shots were fired at him. Luckily, the bullet missed.
I didn't have any injuries other than some glass in my arm over here.
But the glass window of his red Toyota Camry was damaged, and he was only a few minutes away from his Kissimmee home.
When I look again, next thing I see is the passenger pointing at me with the gun, and they shot my car.
We were there when he was getting his window fixed. Osceola County Sheriff's Office told us it happened near Cross Prairie and Turnpike mile marker 244. And Florida Highway Patrol is now taking the lead on the investigation and looking for a suspect. If you have any information, please contact them. Luis says he'd be grateful for any help from witnesses.
If they had, happened to be passing by the time they shoot and they were able to take any license plate or anything, that could help the investigation.
I'm your Osceola County community correspondent in Kissimmee, Laverne McGee, News 6.
Leaders in Orange County are set to discuss making a major change they say could help you get your home safer. The commission is set to vote tomorrow to potentially lower the speed limit on a section of Taft-Vineland Road, a stretch officials say has seen hundreds of crashes since 2020. Your Orange County community correspondent, Tylisa Hampton, spoke with those who take that road to and from work. They say they're not sure how they feel about the change.
The drivers that I spoke with, they tell me they have their own reason for either why they want that speed limit to stay the same or change.
When people drive down Taft-Vineland Road, they can almost bet they will see car after car. But it's the speed drivers are going that has some checking their mirrors twice.
I hate it. Really, it's the one that takes me to work, the one that takes me home, and I try to avoid it. Sometimes I go around maybe 2 or 3 miles just to avoid this.
Right now, the speed limit is at 45 or 40 on the road, but as we saw, some drivers are clocking very different numbers. Today, the Orange County Commission will vote on if they will decrease the speed limit to 35 miles per hour on Taft-Vineland Road from Central Florida Parkway to South Orange Avenue. According to officials, the route's crash data reports 806 crashes from January 2020 through December 2024. 28% caused injuries and 4 deaths. The reason for the discussion in the first place is because concerned citizens requested the change after they said it presented a safety risk.
It'll be great because people really don't respect the speed limit.
But not every driver agrees.
For me, it's good. This is the only road I take it better than the other ones.
Believing dropping the speed limit will only cause more issues.
That creates more traffic.
But others see the change as a potential solution.
When they recently put the middle so that people don't turn
left where it was prohibited, they stopped doing it. So I think the changes will help.
And that county commission meeting, that's set to take place tomorrow at 9 a.m. We will make sure to keep you updated on if that speed limit change does get approved. Reporting, I'm your West Orange County community correspondent, Tylisa Hampton.
Still to come at 6, are multiple companies colluding to drive housing prices up? We're looking into the new lawsuit suggesting the answer, maybe yes. Plus, can you smell the hardwood? Basketball season tips off in 3 weeks. Hear from the Orlando Magic from Media Day. And a Florida man is facing charges for his pet peacocks. What investigators say he did to him. It's kind of gross.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Advent Health, helping the communities we serve to feel whole.
Nearly a dozen corporations named in a class action lawsuit obtained by News 6 are accused of conspiring to raise prices at mobile home parks. Many of them own communities right here in Central Florida. News 6 investigator Lewis Bolden has been hearing your stories and takes a closer look at the lawsuit.
If you can no longer afford to live here, where would you go?
Probably under a bridge, I don't know.
A pension and Social Security payments may soon not be enough for 77-year-old Ruth Koretsky. She's paying almost double what she did 6 years ago when she moved to the Shangri-La Mobile Village in Ormond Beach.
I only lived here a year when a corporation bought this place and started raising the rent. All the things that they used to pay for, they added it onto our bill.
The community is operated by Lakeshore Communities Incorporated, one of 10 defendants named in this class action lawsuit. The lawsuit alleges the corporations that own manufactured home parks coordinated with each other to increase lot rents by illegally purchasing and using market reports published by Datacomp Appraisal Systems Incorporated. Datacomp calls itself the largest provider of manufactured home valuations, inspections, and market data. Do you think it should be legal that all of these companies that own mobile home parks know what each other is charging?
No, that's like a monopoly. You control everything and the consumer gets nothing.
The lawsuit claims having this non-public, competitively sensitive information eliminates competition amongst park owners on price, services, and quality for manufactured home lots. It's something Koretsky says she's seen firsthand.
They do nothing for us. We have no amenities, and they do less and less for us.
Manufactured homes were known to be an affordable place to live. According to the lawsuit, lot rental prices ran up 2.3% between 2010 and 2018, which is close to the average inflation rate of 1.8% during that time. But the lawsuit says things changed between 2019 and 2021, with lot rental prices jumping around 9.1% each year, even though inflation was only 3%. News 6 has been inundated with messages from people across the state of Florida who say they are being priced out of their mobile homes. We asked Lakeshore Communities why it's raising the lot rent as well as its response to the lawsuit. The company did not respond to our calls and emails. News 6 also reached out to Datacomp. We spoke with someone on the phone and was told to send an email. We have not yet heard back. Louis Bolden, News 6.
If you're worried something similar is happening in your community or you have something else you want your investigators to look into, email us at theinvestigators@wkmg.com. A Pasco County man is facing animal cruelty charges after admitting to police he ate animals he kept as pets out of spite. This is a weird one. Pasco County Sheriff's deputies got a call from a woman who said she got into an argument with her neighbor over his pet peacocks. She says Craig Vogt left a note in her mailbox saying he killed 2 of the birds because she kept feeding them. Deputies asked him about it. Vogt said not only is that true, he cooked them in a frying pan and ate them, so she couldn't feed them again. While being taken to jail, he told deputies he plans to kill all of his pet peacocks to stop anyone from being able to take them. That is a Florida man story written from ChatGPT, it feels like, but it's a real story, I promise. Meteorologist Jonathan Kegas joins us now. Out of that darkness, give us some light here.
Yes, the light is that we have nothing tropically to worry about. I mean, at the beaches, of course, we keep on talking about that. There is a danger if you go out into the water. You're advised not to do that. Otherwise, just a little breezy along the coast with these stray tropical downpours that are indirectly related to Imelda. You see that green on the top right of your screen. That is the rainfall that the Melbourne radar is picking up associated with Imelda. There it is right there again, way, way out at sea. We'll take this further out so I can show you the spin here of Imelda. Again, the center is way over here. I mean, that is far off our coast, as we talked about last week. You see some of the lightning in the outer bands here, but again, there is nothing remotely close with Imelda itself. What's happening here is you see that counterclockwise motion again. That is inducing the breeze out of the north and east, and it's helping to generate some of these tropical downpours. These quick hitting, they're heavy at times, but nonetheless, quick hitting, and again, the main show of the storm is staying far away. It is generating scenes like this. It is misty. It is windy out there along the coast. Again, you see how rough the surf is. That surf likely going to increase as we get into tomorrow. That'll be the peak of the worst of the beach conditions. It'll still stay nasty through the end of this work week and gradually get better over the weekend, but still long duration, kind of dangerous beach event that we're going to be watching courtesy of both of the storms, really. 81 degrees in Daytona Beach. There's the sustained wind at about 20 miles an hour. Every now and then we're putting gusts towards 30 to 35. And because of the two storms that are in very close proximity, less than 600 miles between the two, the Southwest Atlantic just has a ton of big waves out there, and it's going to take a while for it to settle back down. There's the 7 o'clock tonight. There's the meat and potatoes of the system. We just have a few of those downpours pinwheeling in. That's 8 to 9 o'clock as we move into the early morning hours of tomorrow. That's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And same deal as today. We're just going to have these tropical downpours from the Atlantic pushing inland. So the further west you are, Denellen, Ocala, the Villages, into parts of Lake County, Sumter County, We're still going to have to do a little dodging like today, but we're going to be on the drier side. The higher rain chances, no doubt, closer to I-95 as midnight on Wednesday, and we're still under the influence of Imelda to a degree. Now here's the look at tomorrow.
Sponsored by Strata Air Conditioning and Heating. AC emergency, you ought to call Strata.
Rain chances tomorrow at 40%. Again, the higher opportunity going to be closer to the coast. Lower shot as we move towards the I-75 corridor at Denellen. We're at 87 tomorrow. Holopah, we are at 87 tomorrow as well. Mineola in Groveland, good evening. Again, tomorrow, lower rain chances. We'll go back up a little bit to 20% by lunchtime. Temperatures by 11 at 81. We'll be back into the mid to upper 80s for your afternoon high temperature. 87 on Wednesday. Rain chances going down a little bit to 30%. They're going to go back up again on Thursday. That's because we get out of this kind of tropical pattern that we're in, courtesy of Imelda, and we get back to our regularly scheduled thunderstorm edition as we fire up the afternoon storms to a 60% T, and then same deal getting into the start of the upcoming weekend, guys.
Look at all those nice mid-80s, Jonathan. Thank you. Ryan's here with sports. Plenty of confidence coming out of Magic Media Day. Huh?
And it is grounded in reality, guys. I'm telling you, I'm dead serious. This roster should pose a lot of problems this season and beyond. Coming up, why a third consecutive playoff appearance is the bare minimum. And the Canes and Knowles about to do it again this Saturday in Tallahassee. We'll hear from both head coaches, plus talk UCF just ahead. Okay, Magic fans, this is the moment the franchise has been building towards. Playoff appearances the past 2 seasons, great, but that is not the expectation anymore. Not with this group. Today, Media Day. The crowd inside the Magic practice facility, much larger than recent years. Familiar faces like Franz and Mo Wagner back in the fold. Jalen Suggs working towards an opening night return from his knee injury. And new guys like sharpshooter Desmond Bain and veteran point guard Tyus Jones trying to push this team over the top. Yes, there are legitimate championship goals in Orlando right now.
I think everyone's focused and kind of itching to get going. Everyone's ready for this season to be special.
We got a great team, top to bottom, type of people we have. I can't really point to much that worries me.
Now these guys are at the level that they can understand what they're capable of doing, how good they are, the mindset that they have to have every single day walking in to become champions.
Well, the straws that stir this drink, Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner are happy, healthy, and absolutely driven. Both are locked into long, lucrative contracts. Both are eager to tip off training camp tomorrow, and both see the potential for this very talented group.
Yeah, I just signed a deal. Franz signed one last year. Jalen, Desmond here now. So, obviously we have a lot to be excited about this year, but I think the fans, they're excited about what we can do in the next couple seasons with the group that we have.
I think as talent, I think as also experience together. I think it's a sense of maturity. Everybody's hungry for it.
To the college gridiron, where teams are in the throes of conference play. UCF hosts Kansas in its Big 12 home opener Saturday night, looking for a much better result than last Saturday's loss at Kansas State. The Knights' offense had a couple of explosive plays, but otherwise struggled against the Wildcats. It was a setback, but head coach Scott Frost has not lost any confidence.
We got a team that can play with hopefully anybody that we play on the schedule, but we have to execute well and play fast, and got to have good weeks of practice to make that happen. So excited to get back to work.
It'll be a top.
Run play on 2nd and 10. Martinez breaks a tackle inside the 10.
It's going to be a top 20 showdown on Saturday night in Tallahassee. Third-ranked Hurricanes visiting number 18 Florida State. The Noles on a revenge tour for essentially everything that happened in 2024, including Miami's 36-14 beatdown last October in Hard Rock Stadium. Now they host the Canes Saturday night. These matchups are different for players, fans, and coaches.
The best rivalry games in all of sports, not just college football, but in all of sports. You'll hear it, the sold-out Doak Campbell Stadium, night game, prime time, wonderful, wonderful stage.
We always knew this as the best rivalry in football coming up. I mean, as a player, that's, was always a reason why players chose to go to one of the two respective schools.
We know the Noles are going to be a little angry out there after what happened last Friday. What do you think?
I don't know what you're talking about.
All right.
Okay. I don't even remember last Friday. I was busy. Thank you, Ryan, very much. More news coming up at 9 o'clock on clickorlando.com, the News 6 Plus streaming app. We hope you have yourself a great night. We'll see you tonight at 9.